Get ready for sports news and entertainment. All right here, your 7 minutes with Simmons starts right now.
What a week. It's over. Oh my God, it felt like a year, but what a fun year it was, eh? Wednesday to Sunday, 40 GOJHL games, and we're going to take a look into some of the emerging storylines here so far this season. Some of your winners early, who's at the top of the standings, and who's struggling, maybe here also in the early going, and then some of your emerging superstars, who's at the top of the leaderboard stats-wise, and your Eastern and your Western Conference top performers of the week, powered by Collins Clothiers and 519 Sports, posted on the GOJHL website. Be sure to check them out. Also, their Instagram and 519 Sports' webpage. They got plenty of GOJHL news and stats. Great video as well. The highlights from pretty much all the games this past weekend, including the spotlight games, are all up there. But welcome back to the show, guys. Christian Simmons here. I know it's been a couple of days. It's been a weird couple of days for me. I've been in Caledonia for back-to-back games, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I was in Port Colborne. And then Thursday, I was in Hamilton. So it was like just like a never-ending onslaught of research and watching game film and preparing scripts and writing and watching and reading and posting and watching and reading. Like, it was nonstop, basically. And I enjoyed it. It was a fun couple of days. And I'm sure for you guys, it was similar. Just always nice to have hockey coming back, right? And for me, couldn't be a better time of year. I'm fired up. And I know fans across the GOJHL are as well. With week one in the books, there's a lot to get through. We don't have a ton of time on this show, but we're going to do it anyways. We'll walk through a couple of points. Starting first in Chatham, we have to talk about the banner raising. Reigning Sutherland Cup champions. They raised the banner in their home opener. They also go 2-0 this weekend. Fantastic news for the Maroons. They've been hot, man. They've been really hot, and they look scary. One of those teams that could continue to find success. They got a lot of turnover from their roster last season. They're looking good early. I think a lot of people pick Chatham as the returning Sutherland Cup champions. We'll see what happens in the West. St. Mary's and Elmira also fighting for spots there. London, another winner in the early going, as all four of those teams are tied at the top of the Western Conference. And in the East, the Air Centennials, they're at the top after 3 games this week. They find themselves undefeated. 3-0 their record. Just beneath them in the East, you got Cambridge, Port Colborne, also undefeated, and then St. Catharines and Caledonia. St. Catharines is 1-0-1, Caledonia 1-1, and Cambridge and Port Colborne 2-0. And for some of those teams, Air with a fresh look. They got lots of rookies, a brand new goaltending situation, 1-1 in overtime against the Hamilton Kilty Bees, and then had another couple strong results for a 3-0 weekend. In Cambridge, an overtime result there as well. Cameron Freeze, the hero in the box score for the Redhawks. And then for Port Colborne, what a couple of games for them. One at home against Brantford. They take it. Ian Robinson with a hat trick, and then he gets his 4th of the season and of the weekend against Hamilton as they beat Hamilton in their own building. I was there for that one, and Port Colborne's looking strong. They got some new guys coming in. Marcus Harris filling an assistant captain role with them. PJ Alexander, the team's new captain this season, also looks strong. And for St. Catharines, the team, they're coming in 4th in the East now. They're 1-0-1 through the first couple of games here early. What a week it was. Couple of things we can highlight. Morgan Payne gets his first GOJHL goal in the OT winner in the spotlight game for the Kings. Tons of spotlight games. That was fun for sure. This past weekend there was one in Chatham, and that was fun. You had the one in Kamoka, and then you had the one in Air. So those were your 3 spotlight games. For all the highlights, be sure to go to 519 Sports. Like I said, they got all of it there. Those are the standings after week 1. We'll take a look at our performers of the week. Who do we got? We got Lincoln Moore in the West. My God, does he look scary, and so does the rest of the St. Mary's team. And it's not just him. Chase McQueen spent as well in St. Mary's. He has 150 career points. What a milestone for Chase. Big news in St. Mary's for him and for his family, a fourth-year veteran of that team, and it's awesome to see him wearing the captaincy this season and also achieving what an amazing personal milestone that is 150 career points in the GOJHL. Another milestone, Lincoln Moore gets his 11th game in the GOJHL with 3 points or more out of 40 games he's played in this league, and early going, he looks absolutely ruthless. 2 games, 4 goals for 3 assists and 7 points. St. Mary's looks dangerous. And this guy is one of those members, like he's one of the guys on that team that when he gets going, when he decides he wants to take over a game, he's going to do it. Former first overall pick of the Saginaw Spirit back in 2022. Played a couple of seasons in Saginaw, had about 25 points or so and 70 and some change. And he's going to be a weapon for the St. Mary's Lincolns. Looks like he's going to spend a whole season here, and that's even scarier for a team that last season lost just 6 games, and here they are already looking scary. They blew out Sarnia, and then they traveled to Caledonia and put up another pretty dominant-looking performance. So out of the West, St. Mary's looks very strong after week 1. And in the East, the performer of the week, Sammy Tonelli, on the brink of 150 points in his GOJHL career after 2 games with 3 goals, 5 assists, and 8 points. It started in home territory as, Fort Erie's home opener. Caledon comes to town. Tonelli has a 5-point night, and then they make the trip to Caledonia last night on Sunday, and he gets another 3 points there, scores a goal, another assist, scores 2 goals and gets another assist to go along with it. So Tonelli time in full effect, and it's going to be another battle in the East. I think Fort Erie has a lot to prove this season. Losing to St. Catharines in the East last season in the East Final, and I think they got a couple of new guys. They got Reese Mateer, 6'3", big boy. Like he's one of those guys I could see really making an impact for the Fort Erie Meteors. You got Trent Valancourt now, an acquisition from the St. Catharines Falcons. Finn Moffitt in between the pipes, back again for another season. He was a guy last year who was a co-recipient of the Sharon Williams Award for the lowest goals against average in the league. So Fort Erie's got a good-looking team, and they got some of their guys back. They got Tonelli back. Hunter Coley is back. Danny Adamo is back. Rylan Masterson is back. So it's a similar looking group in Fort Erie. And to that point, a dangerous looking group. So those are my winners over the past week in the first week of the GOJHL. And I don't know, man. St. Mary's and Fort Erie, Air as well. But I like Fort Erie early. They lost one against Caledonia. They had an effort coming back though last night. They showed a lot of grit and a lot of heart. But so far, for me, it's St. Mary's. Can they go another year with only losing 6 games? We'll see. The undefeated season is still intact. That's going to do it for the show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 78. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at It's Christian Simmons. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell on this podcast so you don't miss a single episode. We'll see you in the next one. Don't you dare forget to come back tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Peace.